Welcome to TubeAmpRepairShop.com, the place to bring your tube amplifier to get serviced. We offer a free inspection of your amplifier to determine if it will need tubes or other service. You can find us on the web at TubeAmpRepairShop.com or give us a call or text at 818-645-1075. Let's have a look at our project today. Today we'll be servicing this Crate P amplifier. As we can see, it's missing some knobs. Got some weird knob pasted on here. And here we have some potentiometers that are completely broken off. So the ones that are working are very noisy. Let's get this thing taken apart. This is a model PA-B6350. I think they're fairly popular. Lots of people have them. All right, I'm going to take off the cover and put it up here on the bench. All right, we've got the cover off. We can take a look at it now. This is what's inside, and as you can see, quite a few steps to taking it apart. They take out these screws here that hold the circuit boards on, and on the other side, on the exterior, we'll have to remove all of the knobs and rings and switches. So here I've got the knobs off, and I've already put it back together with the lock washers and nuts, etc. I've used my favorite product, Deoxit, the only thing I recommend for cleaning potentiometers. We'll look at the can here so everybody can see what it is. Deoxit G5. And the bench size can. It's a little bit expensive, but this is what works. Sometimes people shoot this into their projects and that won't really work. You have to just put a drop or so into each of the potentiometers, and then you want to exercise them by turning them up and down to spread the chemical around inside. And then your noise and crackling should be a thing of the past. I've also used it on the vertical faders for the EQ. Nice to have a graphic EQ. It's a wonderful feature. Helps you dial in your sound. Okay, so we're going to pause for a moment, and I'm going to put the knobs back in now that I've fixed the broken potentiometers. Use the cleaner on the pots to get the sound clean. I've also used the cleaner on the 1/4-inch jacks and the XLR jacks for the microphone inputs. Often microphones will have the XLR, sometimes they have a 1/4-inch, but these are great for instruments, guitar, bass, keyboards, whatever. Okay. All right. When I take apart a project, I always take pictures along the way. And as you can see here, I did that so I know which colored knobs go back in which row, what position they're on, etc. I'm going to start putting them back onto the unit. There we go. Of course, you want to line up the marker on the top so that when the pot is zeroed out, it shows 0 with the nomenclature on the surface. I'm going to use my favorite tool for cleaning 1/4-inch jacks. It's got little bristles on it and a rubber handle. I ordered this on eBay. I just did a search under 1/4-inch jack cleaning tools. But we'll go ahead and spray a little bit of cleaner into each of the jacks. This is the Deoxit 5 Gold. Tiny drop will do it. Got a bunch of 1/4-inch jacks for the individual channels, and then the spec send return, auxiliary input, monitor out, and main out. and then EQ in. Okay, got the Pro Gold in there. Now this tool goes in, turn around a couple of times, and it's nice because even though the chemical's in there and it will work on its own eventually, this spreads it around evenly, and then it rubs the tip and contacts and sleeve. I found that it works marvelous when you put your 1/4-inch cables in. They will absolutely not crackle or fail to make connection. If there's any corrosion, etc., this chemical will break it down, and it works as a cleaner. And all of your electrical conducting will work better when it's done. Your signal will pass without issues. So, cleaning the jacks and input, very good idea. Always makes the units work better. Okay. We can see inside everything's been screwed back together. All the connectors are in place. It's time to put this into the cover. I can see the cover still has some dirt and dust inside of it. So on Amazon, I bought one of these duster blowers. It's basically got a little scrubber brush body, and then this end it blows the air out. So you've got you can vacuum and you can blow out electronics. There we go. It's alive. Give it a shot. Seems to work fabulously. You can see all the dust disappearing right in front of my eyes, and the little bristles help to catch it, especially here on the fuzzy cloth areas. It's like vacuuming the carpet. It's doing a wonderful job. Dirt is the enemy of electronics. It gets into the potentiometers and causes problems, and also clogs any vents if you have fans, etc. Electronics always run warm. That's the current being pulled through devices. And heat is the enemy. When things run cool, they last longer, they work better. Blower end also works fairly well for removing dust. In the vacuum, the blower, you got this thing relatively dust-free. Yes, that dust and dirt has accumulated over a long period of time for it to make it to the inside like that. I don't know the actual age of this TV, but I'm going to guess it's been around for a while. Alright. Very clean. And it's rechargeable and hands-free, which is nice. I'll save that for use later on. Time to get this back into the cabinet. Looks like it's going to slide in from the rear. Get it all lined up. Alright, it's in. When it came in, it had this block of wood supporting it from underneath, so I'm going to put that back in there. Probably have to adjust that after the screws are in the top. Turn it around, make sure it's lining up in the front. Looks like it's lining up just fine. Well, it's time for screws. Taking things apart is always some challenge getting it back together, but we can see these are machine screws. These will go into the top of the unit and merge with the metal casing. There's 4 of them, 1 for each corner. And then these two that are pointy, these are the wood screws. They'll go into the wood block on the bottom. Hopefully everything in the chassis will line up with the holes. We'll find out in a minute when we go to screw it together. All right. Screw guns are nice, but often I will just feel it out with my handheld tool and make sure the alignment of the screw is good. Then of course it's much faster to use the electronic one. Yeah, looks like it went right in. Yep, right in. Yep. So this is lined up nicely. That works. I'm happy about it. I guess we'll just finish them by hand since they're going in so nicely. I never over tighten the screws, but I make sure they're firm so they won't come out on their own. Just removing the unit around from place to place. As the screws go in, it's raising the unit up towards the top of the case. Hopefully that'll free the wood block up at the bottom, which is used to stabilize it since there's a gap. Some units are so tight they're hard to get in and out of the cabinet. I'm actually fairly glad there's a little leeway. This was an easy reassembly. Alright, we're going to flip it back around and take a look at those wood screws on the bottom. So you want the wood block to be basically in the center. Looks good. We're going to flip it over so we can see the bottom. Let's take a look where the screw holes go in. Make sure our wood block is aligned. It looks like these holes are towards the left. So I'm going to move the block over to align them with the original place where the screws went in. Wood screws going into a block of wood. I think we'll use the electric. Make sure it's going in the right direction. It's clockwise. And they should just go right in. Setting this release on the drill, so instead of stripping out the screws, it should just click and works as kind of a strain relief, so it won't over torque the screw heads and destroy the slots. That Phillips head. That works. Tighten it up a little bit. Alright, we went in. Screws are still good, they're not destroyed. And I think we're ready to test the unit. So I'm going to set up to put an audio test signal in and hook up a pair of speakers. Got my speaker cables ready. These are just small bench speakers that I use for testing amps. Go ahead and plug in the AC so we have power going to the unit. Let's see, it's in the off position. There we go. Oh, we've got power. My cables are a little bit short, so I'm not going to push it further than that. But here, we've got an audio signal generator. And we're going to set it for 1K. Basically a good tone for testing gain. Let's see what we can do. There we go. One knob came off, we're putting it back on. There's no set screws on these, but I think they stay as long as you don't put it face down like we did. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the unit. Switches, there we go. We have a green power indicator. No red light, that's very good. I'm going to set the volume on all of these to 0, the reverb to 0, set the EQ for the bass and the treble to 0. The bass and EQ have both a cut and a boost, so if they're all the way to the left, it's pulling the frequencies out or reducing them, and to the right, it's boosting them. It's a 2-band EQ. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so to get output, we've got to turn up the mains master. That's the master output for the power section. Now we'll listen to the individual channels. That is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5, channel 6. Seems to be working nicely. Let's see if we have reverb. I don't think this has a built-in reverb tank, but it allows you to send to a reverb unit and return. Graphic EQ is working. $1K. That's our test frequency. All right, so this unit has all the potentiometers and knobs, and it's been cleaned and it's ready to go back out there and make music with the band. Hope you enjoyed watching today's presentation, and you can find us on the web at tubamprepairshop.com, or you can call or text me, Eric Flegel, at 818-645-1075. Thanks for watching and have a great day.